Oscar model is built around 5 contributing factors or sections. The Oscar acronym stands for Outcome, Situation, Choices, Actions, Reviews. If these 5 criteria are met, understood and utilized by the coach, the long-term result of their connection with the employee will be accomplishing the outcome, hence proving good coaching. The Oscar model is practical for any situation involving human development, although it is suggested that it works best when applied to long-term outcomes because the framework encourages the adoption of realistic milestones through the actions component. For example, a worker might ask the coach for suggestions on how to manage a team more effectively. Because of its outcomes-based timeline approach, the Oscar model is often used for performance coaching. First, the coach and the worker should talk about the problem at hand, the meeting's main topic, and collaborate to determine the session's desired outcome and the person's long-term objectives. For example, these would probably include learning how to lead and be heard in team-based situations. Here are some questions that the performance coach could ask the person to promote conversation. The next stage will be to determine the team members' present level of skill, knowledge, and competence, and to foster conversation about why they are there. Here, the purpose of the questions and conversation is to increase the workers' comprehension and knowledge of their own circumstance, the individual's feelings, and how they believe their present circumstances are affecting their life, and those of their peers are also covered throughout the phase of this process. Here are some questions that the performance coach can ask. The coach will then assist the worker in determining all available options for achieving the result. For example, you could enroll in a training program. The effects and ramifications of each of the options that were brainstormed and debated will be taken into account, enabling the worker to rule out less feasible or overly challenging options and focus on the single viable path to their long-term objectives. The performance coach can take the few questions. Finding areas where and how to implement improvements is the next stage. The immediate and doable goals that a worker can strive towards are the action's main focus. Any of the activities created during this part of the session can use SMART, short for specific, measurable, accurate, realistic, and timely. And that is a checklist. While not being too far removed from the person's existing condition so that they feel the goal unattainable and lose motivation, all activities should be sufficiently motivating to encourage the person to aspire and work towards them. All tasks should have clear deadlines that are also realistic so that the person is encouraged to work and has benchmarks against which they may gauge their progress. A concrete example of action will be enrolling in a training program or choosing the one that best suits the team member. Additionally, it is important to identify any help that might be needed along the process. The performance coach can pose the questions. Finally, the coach and the worker will plan to meet frequently to check in on the worker's progress and provide assistance as needed. The deadlines for the task defined in the process action section may serve as the basis for meetings and review checkpoints. If it is discovered that a person is no longer on track for certain aspects of the action plan, it may be necessary to re-evaluate both the long-term and short-term goals using the Oscar model process again. Some of the questions that the performance coach can use